I was dead. I was breathing, I was working, I was functioning, but spiritually, I was dead. I was a liar, I was a cheater, and finally one day I came home to a packed suitcase. And I was instructed that I was no longer welcome at home, that if I wanted a chance to be home, I needed to get help.
You feeling ready?
I'm totally about to lift something.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm lifting the weight off my shoulders, so. Okay. So begrudgingly and out of anger, I took the suitcase and drove around for a few hours. I had this mindset that just a quick swerve to the left and it'd all be over. And I also kept thinking about how if this was really the end of my relationship, that my wife would divorce me and marry a good Christian man, and my kids would call him dad and they'd forget all about me. Finally, I went and checked in at the hospital for their mental health area, and they took me back to their mental health area. And I was expecting to go into one of the normal emergency rooms, but that wasn't the case. They took me to this glass room with a chair and a bed. And as they closed the door behind me, it felt as though God left the room. For the first time in my life, I felt isolated. I felt like I was truly and utterly alone. And it felt as though right at the door, God said to me, Dan, you've been the God of yourself for too long. You need to realize that I am God and you are not. So I'm going to step out here, but you need some time to think about that. And I was alone for several hours until the morning when I got shipped up to a hospital in the Upper Peninsula. And when I got checked in there, I laid on my bed and started sobbing. And I remember crying out for a good 10, 15 minutes, just pleading, God help me, Jesus help me. And finally a nurse came in to check on me and talked with me, and we prayed a little bit. And I called home to let my wife know where I was. And the sound of fear in her voice was terrible to me. And so I figured, okay, I'll give her a few days just to kind of let everything cool down, and we'll try again later. The next day she calls me at the hospital and tells me something that destroyed the lie I was telling myself about my kids earlier on, that they would forget about me if I was truly gone. She called to tell me that my oldest son wouldn't sleep at night, and that he was acting up in school. And that my youngest son was walking around the house carrying a picture of me, calling out for Dada. And I broke down crying right there in the hospital wing, just thinking about those two boys. And I remember thinking, this must be a God thing, a Jesus thing. And that absolutely broke me. About a week later, I got discharged. My wife and I began seeing a good life coach, and I started doing a couple discipleship training with some of the pastors here at New Hope. And I've been growing in that. And all through this, a verse that I've been taught and I've been working on memorizing has really taken a grasp on me. It's Galatians 2:20, and it reads, I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. The life I now live in the body, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. And in that moment of doubt and fear in the hospital, I felt like his plan was finally starting to unravel for me. So today I'm getting baptized to publicly declare that my old self, my old sinful ways are dead, and a new me is rising up in Christ. My name is Dan Tinknell, and this is my testimony.